Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is your cup of TSA, serving you the hottest tea. Now, before we start, I'd just like to ask you guys, please subscribe. I see you watching them videos. I see you enjoying the videos. Why don't you subscribe and give this video a like, and let's get into it. So, as you've seen, today we are talking about Apostle Makhado. So, you guys have probably seen the videos, the live that he did with Miss Jackie Pamodze about the cult. He was a fake pastor himself, so he has been in this business. Like, he explains thoroughly how these things are done. So there's a clip that I'm going to insert here of an interview that he did. So he talks about these things more in depth. Like, he explains everything, how it is done, how it happens. And yeah, man, he just lets you into his world. So I hope you guys just enjoy this video. And once again, don't forget to give this video a like, and don't forget to subscribe, because I mean, that is what we're here for. If not that, then what? So yeah, guys, let's get into it.
You say that in Mozambique, you went and you gained a power called fire by force.
Yes.
In Nigeria, you then went and got a power called back to sender.
Yes.
And then in Zimbabwe, you got one. You met a man that can remove objects from somebody.
Yes.
What did those powers mean?
Yes.
And how did you utilize them?
Okay. The kind of power that I collected, in a simple summary, I can say is demonic powers. Because when you talk about demonic powers, you talk about things that happens without human beings understanding. So when I collected them, I was trying to have these miracles happening in the church. Yes, so I went to Nigeria, I collected all those powers, I went to Mozambique, but all these powers, in a way, somewhere, they teach you how to deceive people, because it is not 100% power. The power is to deceive people, but other things is tricks and staged miracles.
And I'm curious how you actually collect it, because you make it sound like a simple procedure. You pick something up at the shop. How did you collect the powers?
All those powers, they have a procedure like initiation. In Nigeria, before they give it to you, you have to join what we call a secret cult. It's a secret society where you belong to this particular spiritual house. And in that, you have a spiritual father, somebody who initiates you into that kingdom, and you serve them. Before you go to the church, you bow down to those altars. Before you do anything, and in the church, you are no longer preaching Christ. You have to preach prosperity. You have to prophesy to people. You have to teach people that demons are following them. So you shift away from the true gospel, and you start bringing this end time gospel.
Sure. I mean, it's compelling stuff. In your book, Church Mafia, you talk about some shocking practices that you had to take part in order to gain these powers, right?
Yes.
At some stage, there was a room in your house that nobody was allowed in. At some stage, you had to sleep by a gravesite. When you look at it all in hindsight, your journey, at what point did you realize that perhaps I have gone beyond the Rubicon, that I've taken it too far? What was that moment for you?
Once you have joined, it is not easy for you to realize that now I have gone too far. But in my instant, it was one morning when 3 policemen came to arrest me in a case of mutilation. They came and said that we came to arrest you because of you are involved in a case of mutilation, where I was accused of dealing with human body parts to strengthen churches, to strengthen traditionally doctors, to also strengthen bishops. So when they took me to Hoshimampuru, and I was there for about 3 months, it was at that particular point where I said, this is not the kind of life that I was born to live.
Was that false? Was the accusation false?
There was a case in Soshanguve during that time. They arrested people who had human body parts, but I was not involved in them. But those people, they came to me trying to sell to me those body parts. I saw them with my naked eyes. So I did not buy them. So I was, yes. So when they did their investigation, they tried to trace where these people they went and tried to sell this body parts.
I have to ask, what goes through your mind when you see that happen, when people come to you?
Or when you
with those
agree to
body
take
parts?
a look at them?
You know, because I was doing what we call one-on-one consultation, and usually these people who deal with human body parts, they target people who are spiritual people who are helping people. So they came to me and they had them in a body bag. And they said to me, if you can use this, this will strengthen your work. It will strengthen your church.
Sure. We're going to continue this conversation because so many things have come out which are absolutely shocking, and we appreciate the level of honesty that you have come through with on the show. We're going to take a breather. I think some of us need it. And when we come back, we're going to continue to interrogate the nature of these false prophecies and these very unethical practices within the charismatic churches. Of course, we have Pastor Makhado Ramabulana who joins us. Get involved in social media. Feel free to comment. Go and do it. Just hashtag #on3 and we'll check out all your comments. We'll be back in just a moment.
We're still with a trending essay right here on SABC3, and of course we're still in conversation with Pastor Makhado Ramabulana. He's the author of Church Mafia, and we're essentially breaking down the goings-ons, the nefarious ones that can be found in some charismatic churches. Now, Pastor, we need to, just for people's education and just to open up their eyes a little bit, could you tell us, you mentioned earlier on before the break, fake miracles being performed in church, and the fact, stage miracles rather, being performed in some churches, and the fact that you are taught how to commit these fraudulent miracles. What should people be aware of? And maybe you can even start by telling us how some of them are done.
Okay. When we talk about a staged miracle, we talk about what is organized. Number one, when a pastor says that tomorrow there will be a miracle, when you talk about a miracle, it's something that should shock even the pastor. But if the pastor is aware of what is going to happen, it's no longer a miracle, it's staged and arranged. So in most of the time, they organize people on the wheelchair, they give them money, they come sit on the wheelchair. So before that day, the pastor will talk about the kind of miracle that will be happening on that night. So they know particular, we've got people that will be seated on the wheelchair. And we also have this stage miracle of miracle money. Usually before the church starts, they call people who are in the church to come on the stage for what we call a chain prayer. And while you are here, some of the ushers, remember, the pastor does not work alone. It's a mafia, it's a syndicate in the church. So they work with the ushers, they work with those, the car guards outside. So once people are here in front, those ushers, they will insert money in people's bags as we are praying, closing our eyes. Now, when the prophet comes on stage, he says, there's a miracle money, check your bags. Once you open your bag, you will see the money and you don't know where that money come from. It was arranged. In other instead, they collect information. Once you sit in the church, those ushers ask you, where do you come from? What's your name? What's troubling you? So they collect information, they send it through WhatsApp to their pastor. So that is the reason why most of these cult pastors, they come to church late, because they have to receive data first, the data that they will use to prophesy people. Once they have gained, let's say 20 people with information, what is troubling you, they come on stage, they've rehearsed your name, and when they call your name, especially our brothers from outside the country, they speak as if they don't know how to pronounce your name, so you think it's authentic while it was organized.
So this is like a play, it's like a stage play.
Yes.
Okay, so what was the turning point in your life? What made you go, I'm done?
My background as a pastor's kid who looked up to his father, who have been in the ministry all along, being authentic to God, it became a voice that spoke to me and said, this is not the kind of life that you should live, because once you have joined, you are living a secret life. You are in a secret society. You hide things. Yes.
In your book, Church Mafia, you also speak about keeping all of this a secret from your wife, the congregation. Apparently your wife not really buying into this dark way. I mean, take us through that moment, that part of your life as well.
I lived a secret life for some time, because of even my trip to Nigeria, I had to lie. And even the room where I had to put all these spirits, I told my wife not to enter there. Before I go to church Saturday night, I have to go into those spirits, to speak to those altars. So all along, I lived a secretful life. But there are others, they join with their wives these days.
What was in that room that you hid in your house?
It was more of the calabash, the traditional pots, and the other one, it was bottles that had some particular oils, the oils that we used in the church. That is where you take this oil, then you mix with other oils, so that whosoever that will use the oil, they will remember you and they will be hooked up to your church.
One question that really sticks out for me is, what is your biggest regret in all of this?
My biggest regret is how I deceived people. How, if you do something knowing it is not okay, by itself, it's deception. How I lied to the body of Christ, how I lied to South Africans. And that is the biggest regret. But on top of that, I said to myself, I will be a voice to warn others. And even the same people that I have deceived, I had an opportunity to go back to them and close the church and tell them, you need to go and look for the true church.
Okay, and where can people get the book, Pastor?
The book, people, they can get it online. It's available. Maponya Mall is available. Exclusive Books is also available, and also on social media.
Thank you so much, Pastor, for coming through and sharing your knowledge with us.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And that's how we wrap up tonight's show of Trending SA. Join us again tomorrow when we unpack some of the biggest trends that made it into our timelines this week. And later we are joined by an award-winning chef, Chef Siba Mtungana. And I'm hearing, Uguti, we are also going to be joined by former public protector Thuli Madonsela, who will be responding to all your tweets. You don't want to miss any of it. It's going to be a good one. Good night, Mzansi.